Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is about deepening into peace and where spirit is leading you. We have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 is the second ray of wisdom. Pile number 2 is past life activation. And pile number 3 is soul child, okay? So take a look at these images while I'm speaking here and think about which pile is actually drawing you in. Is it pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3? And you can go directly to the description box below to find your pile. For those of you who are wanting personal readings with me, details for how to request one are in the description box below. Also, if you'd like a natal chart reading with me, details are in the description box below. And for those of you that are wanting to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Natalie H Astrology on Blue Sky. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the reading. Okay. We will start with pile number 1. If you like my work and you'd like to support it, please click the like box and do subscribe to the channel if you would like to support my work. I really do appreciate it. And let's go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to ring the bell. Okay. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the second ray of wisdom, and today's reading is called Deepening into Peace. Where is Spirit wanting to lead you? Okay, and we're going to go ahead and begin. I hope everybody is staying warm. I know there's a big Arctic blast here that is coming. And do take care, everybody. And let's go ahead and find out what where Spirit is wanting to lead you, pile number 1, as it relates to deepening into peace, okay? That was the Knight of Wands that just randomly fell out, which of course the Knight of Wands is about hurrying, backpedaling, front pedaling. Oh yeah, there's the 4 of Swords right there. Needing to slow down, right? Pile number 1. Let's go ahead and talk about deepening into peace for pile number 1. Where is Spirit leading pile number 1? Okay. And pile number 1, we are going to look at the oracle cards here. We have the 8 of Wands, the Empress, okay, and Temperance. All right. We have memories of Atlantis, spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology, okay? And, you know, our own relationship with technology and whether we feel we have a good relationship with that or not is definitely coming up in this pile number 1, but also our own technology in the way that we work and the way that we operate. And with the 8 of Wands and the Empress, there is a lot of accelerated growth available for you, pile number 1, but we can take our time with it, okay? With Temperance, we can definitely take our time with it and not stress ourselves out about it. I feel there is a lot of positive forward momentum for you, but there's a lot of other things that you're working on in your life, or there's a lot of other details that you're working out. So you're wanting to take your time with that, and Spirit is acknowledging that you have the ability to take your time here. We have Vesta and Hearth, which is very appropriate for the Empress, to talk about keeping those home fires burning or keeping that passion alive within yourself. and not allowing the outside world to rush you or make you feel like you have to hurry beyond what feels capable and feels right for you. We have Page of Pentacles here. We have Eight of Cups, okay? And we have Eight of Pentacles. Okay. And I do feel there is something here about starting over again. And sometimes when we're starting over, it can feel like the burden is pretty heavy. Pile number 1, okay? And sometimes we may feel like giving up, or we feel like that all the effort that we're putting in doesn't matter. And, you know, with the Eight of Pentacles, we learn how to work more efficiently. We learn how to organize ourselves better. We learn a skill that can help us go where we want to go. And I see, it looks like somebody has like their painting and their brush and their paints here. You know, making beautiful art, making beautiful things, could be working hard at organizing your life so that you can enjoy it more and do the things you enjoy more, okay? What's funny is I'm seeing the funky shaped sunglasses, like sunglasses that are shaped like stars or hearts. Maybe some of you have funny sunglasses that are shaped like stars or hearts. And let's see what else we have here. We have self-sabotage. Okay, this can be where we're procrastinating and we're having a lot of negative self-talk. Like it's like, I always mess up. I'm always behind. I'm never, you know, everyone's ahead of me. It's taking me a really hard time to do things and finish things. Okay. And, you know, overcoming that fear of failure that sometimes can undermine our success in life, and building up resilience to that is definitely coming up. And it's interesting that this self-sabotage is coming out around Atlantis, because I do think there's a big self-sabotage energy around Atlantis, in the sense that, you know, Atlantis was a very advanced society and with a lot of technology, but people used it in the wrong way and developed some really bad habits with it. And as a result, the civilization crumbled, okay? And the Page of Pentacles can be where we're putting in a lot of effort to start something or build something. But then emotionally, with the Eight of Cups, we feel like we can't do it anymore. We feel like we are just done with something. And I'm getting an energy, those of you wanting to create a really beautiful place in your home, to like watch movies or to sit and relax, okay? And you're having to pay some money to do that, or you really want a place where you can relax and enjoy yourself, okay? But it feels distracting or disorganized, or you started working on a really beautiful place in your home that you could relax and chill, but it just, maybe you stopped working on that, or you stopped doing it, or you didn't think it was worth it anymore, okay? It is worth it, pile number 1, okay? I remember going to this one house where years ago, and it had this area like in the front yard, where this like porch area where they had taken like a projector and they put a couch out there and a couple of places to sit, and they invited, you know, friends over and things like that to partake and share. But it was like this area where they put this big movie projector, and everyone was outside watching movies, like late into the evening, pouring out the wine, talking, you know, doing something like that, that really, and I know not everybody has like the money or the time to be doing all of that, but maybe there are some technological upgrades or things that you could do around your home that would make it more comfortable and make it more nice for you. Pile number one, maybe there is an investment that you would like to make into something to make it more beautiful, Empress, to make it more lovely, to make it more comfortable. Okay, there is maybe something around, like, you know, a really beautiful fireplace can really make the living room look nice. Maybe some of you are wanting, you can even buy little portable fireplace type things for your room too. I used to have one of those. It's like a little portable heater, but it looks like a fireplace, which can, you know, sometimes those little things that we give ourselves can be like worth the money and worth the time, because then we can actually relax. Like when we get a moment where we just feel like saying, fuck it, I'm done with the day. This took a lot of effort. I just want to relax now. I just want to pour myself a glass of Chardonnay or whatever you got going on there, pile number one, and I just want to freaking relax, okay? And I get it. I really, really do. And, you know, the Eight of Cups can be sometimes where we make an emotional decision and we want to give up on something when we're like in an emotional mood or when we're just not feeling something in the moment. And that's okay. I feel like Spirit is saying if there's some things that you gave up and you'd like to get back into those projects or get back into those things, I feel like Spirit is helping you to balance out with Temperance here, your effort and your work and things like that you abandoned long ago, that it's like, I don't really like want to do that anymore, are now kind of coming back. Skills, things that you like doing, painting, art, fashion, movies, just things that you like to do with your time outside of, you know, the daily grind. We have Mummy here. Between the ancient past and the modern world, is there any place where I belong? Okay, and that may be something that you feel is that, you know, especially with this Atlantis energy coming up, feeling like, you know, I'm not really liking all this new technology. I don't really want to be a part of all of it, or it makes me nervous, or it's overwhelming. But then I know I can't. I know I have to incorporate these new things into my life. Otherwise, I can't really live comfortably, or I can't really accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. Like, I have to work on this. Okay, maybe some of you struggle with just like rejecting society and not wanting to be a part of things or feeling like you don't belong. Okay, and so Spirit is talking about deepening into peace and relaxing. And if you need to put something down for a while and come back to it, that's fine. That's all about balance. I heard something the other day that said, in capitalism, like in a capitalistic society, we're always being encouraged to improve ourselves all the time. And that if we're not improving ourselves, then there is something wrong. And that mindset is very destructive to people, okay? That we always constantly have to be moving, and we always constantly have to be improving, and we always, like, sometimes we just need to sit back and enjoy things, you know? And that's what the Empress can do, can sit back and enjoy things. And the Empress doesn't really like to be rushed either. And the Eight of Wands could be a bit distracting to the Empress, like a lot of people excited about things or wanting to do things, and it's like, I just want to settle at home for a while. I just want to chill. I just want to relax. I just want to take it easy. We have the ancestors, home, and the seat of the soul. Well, that is so funny because we have Vesta and Hearth here, talking about Vesta is an asteroid that has to do with home and hearth. And then we have the ancestors here. And this could be where we're blending different cultures, or it feels like we don't belong. okay? Or maybe perhaps your ancestors felt like they didn't belong, or there wasn't any place for them, or there wasn't a comfortable place for them to call home, okay? But it's really important. I feel like for deepening into peace, to finding a comfortable and relaxing home where things flow and you can take your time with things, okay? Maybe some of you who had ancestors who were very good at creating a very peaceful home and put a lot of work and effort into doing that. And it's like, I don't know if I'll ever be good at that, but I would like to be good at that, okay? And I do feel like there's an ancestor here with this Page of Pentacles who's trying to reach out and help you to kind of build things and change things in your life, but do things at a comfortable pace that feels relaxing and easygoing to you, that allows for maximum growth, okay? And we have Aries energy, okay? Aries is definitely quick, quick, fast, fast, okay? Go, 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 go. No time to waste, have to hurry, can't slow down, feel guilty and bad for not going as fast, okay, as other people. It just seems like sometimes other people get it right away and they don't have to keep working at it and they just go really, really fast, okay? And it's like with the Empress, we need to take it down a notch and take it a little bit easy, okay? We've got Aries energy coming up in the reading, and perhaps maybe some of you had parents or ancestors who were Aries and they had to be very confident and independent and go do things on their own a lot, okay? And you just kind of want to, you're like, that's great, but I need to take, my nervous system needs to slow down, and that is fine, pile number one. Yep, we have Armadillo spirit, set healthy boundaries, okay? And, pushy people who are demanding a lot out of you, Spirit wants you to not have to worry about that, okay? Not have to carry the whole world on your back, and to not constantly have to feel like you're always having to put boundaries up and you can't just relax and enjoy things. We have purification, the Ganges River in India. Well, that is interesting. So Spirit is trying to lead you to the Ganges River in India and trying to help you purify and relax. And maybe some of you, and we have the mummy here, so maybe some of you know that you have Egyptian ancestry or Indian ancestry, okay? And perhaps there are people in your family who are, very aggressive or very independent, fighting spirit, but they can be a lot, right? They can be a lot. Like, you appreciate that they were gung-ho and they went after things and they fought for things, but it's like these people can be a lot to deal with, okay? And purification, I also feel like that coming up with the Empress could talk about, taking baths and relaxing and self-care, taking it easy, purification of your energy, okay? And we have here third eye chakra, okay? The indigo flower of life supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers, okay? And there is some purification around your third eye that Spirit is wanting to work with you on, okay? And I want to go ahead and take a look at this Atlantis card, okay? For you, pile number one. Let's look at this Memories of Atlantis. I feel like your ancestors have always been really hardworking, really independent, really fierce, Maybe some of them were actually warriors, or you can trace them back to being, you know, really tough, because I feel like the armadillo has like a really tough skin. Or perhaps maybe in your family, you had to have a very tough skin, and maybe at times it felt like you didn't belong. And there is a need to relax and enjoy your environment. Take it easy and go at a medium pace, pile number 1, okay? And we have the memories of Atlantis. Let's see here. Yeah, because sometimes they can be like really tough-skinned and really fierce fighters for the people that they care about or the people that they love. All right, and this independent, fierce spirit. But they, you know, maybe there are people that in your ancestry that are very overwhelming and very like strong personalities, if you know what I'm saying, pile number 1. And perhaps that could be disturbing at times to your third eye, or overwhelming or disturbing to your intuition, okay? And, you know, particularly the way that people deal with technology or deal with learning new things. Are they patient with themselves, or do they, you know, procrastinate and then engage in a bunch of negative self-talk, and then have their fear of failure causing them to get impatient and angry, like that type of thing? And sometimes we need to slow down and take it a little bit easy to go with the process, okay? And legend has it that Atlantis was an advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago at the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Its people were highly evolved and had many spiritual gifts. They were known to be telepathic, extremely psychic, right? Third eye chakra, extremely psychic, and known for their ability to combine the laws of science and spirituality. Yeah, that's temperance. Combining the laws of science and spirituality to develop technology and create heaven on earth. But somewhere along the way, many of them stopped respecting their gifts and spiritual connection. Their disrespect for the earth and the ocean caused a great cataclysm that brought their civilization to an end. The Atlanteans, who continued to live with spiritual integrity, had an awareness of what was to come and were able to achieve full ascension and move beyond the physical realm of that light. Yeah, and I do feel like you do have some ancestors, pile number 1, that were able to move past that and move beyond the physical realm before the destruction of Atlantis, perhaps. And then some that didn't and had to kind of stay and fight and develop more, okay? And they are now a congregation of evolved souls who, like angels and masters, work with those on planet Earth who are following the ascension path in alignment with devotion and love. If this card comes up for you and has a strong, energy or seems familiar, it's a good chance that you are a former Atlantean who didn't honor your spiritual connection then, are now being given an opportunity to avoid making the same mistakes now. And maybe it wasn't so much that, it was maybe ancestors that didn't honor it, ones that did, ones that didn't, right? And it's like, this mummy is like, I don't belong in this modern world, okay? Between the ancient and the past modern world, is there a place where I belong? Okay, and that could feel like I'm not like these people, or I'm different than these people, or I don't belong, okay? Visualize yourself cloaked in a beautiful deep blue energy, the Atlantic Ocean blue, and say, Atlantean Council of Light, thank you for supporting the evolution of my soul so that I can surmount the karmic imbalances of my previous incarnations. You are being transported through a gateway to connect with ancient Atlantis. Know that by drawing this card today, you are receiving blessings from the Atlantean Council of Light, who are dedicated to the evolution of the soul. You are becoming aware of your gifts, and this is an exciting time, but it's also the time when the energies of the ego can become loud and obnoxious. Yeah, Aries, right? I'm always having to fight for what I want, or I need to be first, or I'm always right. And we are in a time where the world has become very loud and obnoxious with personal ego all over the world, you know, and it takes a lot to be patient and calm and kind through all that obnoxious, you know, dumping of energy. And maybe some of you are needing to have some really strong boundaries against that dumping of loud and obnoxious energy. Know that this gateway is appearing to remind you to stay aligned with the highest good and rooted in the energies of devotion. Then there can be great coming together of the human and the spiritual, and we can live in a more evolved way. Yeah, a great coming together with temperance, with patience and practice. We can bring together the spiritual and the physical and live a more calm, loving, relaxed, easygoing existence where we can take our time with things and things don't feel forced in a particular direction, okay? So pile number 1, that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I hope that that reading resonated for you, and I wish you all the very best, my loves. Take care. Let's move on to pile number 2. Okay. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose past life activation, and today's reading is about deepening into peace and finding out where spirit is trying to lead you. Okay, pile number 2. In this sense of past life activation. And I just felt like a burst of nervous energy, pile number 2. So let's see. Perhaps maybe some of you are wanting to explore past life energy or past life talents, but it makes you nervous or makes you feel a little anxious. Okay, so pile number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to take the reverse and we're going to deepen into peace. Okay, we're going to take the reverse and deepen into peace, and we're going to ask, as we go under these waves of peace, where is spirit leading you? Okay, where is spirit leading? Pile number 2 as we deepen into peace. Okay. All right. Pile number 2. We've got the Wanderer, which is the Fool, and we've got the Ace of Wands. Oh, no wonder. Like, that is very exciting and new. And then we have Justice. Okay. And this is a new adventure. Pile number 2, okay? This is a new adventure, and your ability to make good decisions for yourself is part of what is leading you in this bright, beautiful, fun, bursting with excitement, new direction. And it may be like, well, that doesn't seem very peaceful, Natalie. Like, you know, the where the peace is coming from, it's coming from this Justice card of knowing that you're making the right choice about something. And perhaps some of you, you know, the South Node has been in Libra, okay, for the past like year and a half. Justice is associated with Libra in the tarot. So perhaps some of you, this sense of deepening into peace, I'm comfortable with the choices that I've made. I trust myself. I know that I can look at things and weigh them out and look at the karma of things and make the right choices for myself that lead me to an awakening, that lead me to an exciting new adventure in my life, okay? And perhaps some of you here, this South Node in Libra has been very interesting, and actually, the South Node's been in Libra since like summer of 2023, and it's just leaving Libra right now. So think about the journey that you've been on since April, May, June, July of 2023 up until now. Okay, because there is like this energy of a new seed that is bursting open and becoming awake, and recognizing this need for new experiences and new adventure in your life. Okay. And for some of you, a relationship could have come to a close, or you decided, I'm putting relationships on hold for a while and I'm going to work on traveling and exploring and having fun. But there could have been a thing of, like relationship being on hold, or perhaps there was an exciting new relationship that came about during this time that brought about a big awakening within you. But let's see what we've got here. Okay, pile number 2, we've got, the Sword of Light. Yeah, that's very much with the Ace of Wands. This is like the Ace of Swords actually coming up here. It's like you have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Divine protection, cords cut, breakthrough energy. Yeah, that's coming out under the Fool. Breakthrough energy. Okay. And, I feel like with this Justice card, you've been waiting for your moment. And I feel like you've been waiting for the right time to do something new, to step out of like darkness and come to the light again. Pile number 2. And I feel like some really fresh, new, exciting ideas. And I feel like it is the year of the snake as well. And I feel like in 2025, you're shedding an old skin. Okay. And you're feeling way more free. Okay. And some of you may even be changing the way you dress or the way you look, or you're like, I don't care what people think of what I'm wearing anymore. I'm wearing what I like to wear. Okay. Or I don't care if people don't understand my choices or my fashion or what I'm doing or planning or trips or things like that. I don't really care anymore. I've spent enough time waiting for the right moment. I'm ready to take a leap here. Okay. I'm ready to go out on a limb and take a leap at this. And we have here Neptune and Vision. Okay, that's interesting because Neptune's moving into Aries in 2025 in a couple of months here. And for some of you, pile number 2, this is going to be a huge awakening, a huge wake-up call. And I talked about it in my astrology forecast for 2025 on this channel. I talked about it being like a shot of coffee into the arms of the masses and being like waking up from something, okay? And there's deep creativity, healing, spirituality, growth, I feel like. And it's actually quite dynamic. And you're very comfortable with where this is going, and you have ultimate trust and faith in your own vision is what I feel. Pile number 2, the vision for your life. And for those of you that have planets in fire signs, like Aries or Sagittarius, Neptune, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, especially Sagittarius and Leos, Neptune and Aries is going to be at some point trining your fire planets, which is really like this powerful awakening energy, causing you to see new things and dream new dreams and wake up from kind of like a dark slumber is what I feel. Okay. And we have the 9 of Pentacles poised and ready to make some big, bold decisions in your life. We've got 2 of Swords. A period of confusion is ending, the ability to trust your judgment. We have here the King of Pentacles. Okay. And, yeah, feeling like you have, because the 2 of Swords can be where we're second guessing ourselves, or we're not feeling super confident in our decision making, or we're really worried about, how our decisions are going to affect someone else, or we're really worried about what other people are going to think about what we're doing. And it feels like you're kind of moving away from that. Pile number 2, it feels like you're really, with this King of Pentacles, you're really taking control of your life, and you're really becoming confident in your decision making. And for those of you who are needing to make a decision about money, going back to school, financial resources, and you were weighing out this decision for a while and you weren't quite sure of if you wanted to just go for it or if you just wanted to think about it for a little bit longer. Okay, I feel like you're deciding to go for it. And the worst thing sometimes where we have no peace, it can be where we're going back and forth about a decision for a really, really long time, or we feel like we're stuck and we're waiting for something, okay? Waiting for approval, waiting for money to come in, waiting for, or we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so we're not taking action on things, right? But I feel like you guys are very inspired to take action, and confusion about a decision is leaving, and you're becoming more confident in yourself and the choices that you're making. And I feel like you're blooming, pile number 2. You're really blooming, and you're really starting to trust your own judgment and your own faith in things, okay? And I love that. I love that for you guys. We have escapism, detach from daily struggles and relax, but don't use it as a form of avoidance, okay? And sometimes our indecision can be kind of, well, I'm not sure, and I need to wait for the perfect timing, or I need to wait until I have X amount of dollars. I need to be very practical. And I think with the 9 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, you are practical. You have a good head on your shoulders, okay? And for those of you that were always used to somebody else making the decision for you, whether that was, a man making the decisions for you, or your father always, being overbearing or trying to make all the decisions, or maybe not even being overbearing, but just maybe being overprotective, or keeping you sheltered from understanding things that we need to understand, right? And there can be, with Neptune, there can definitely be escapism, that can be one of the sides of Neptune. But Neptune is also very much a planet that radiates the energy of like peace, love, and happiness. Like Neptune to me is always like kind of like a hippie planet, right? And Neptune can be where we really, really strongly believe in the power of now, or the power of the present, but it can also be where we are drifting and dreaming of a future. Like when I get to that point, I'll be able to do this thing, that I'll finally be able to be independent or do my own thing. And I just keep dreaming about this future. But the more that I dream about it, the more that I kind of stay in the dark and indecision, and I'm not sure, okay. With the King of Pentacles, there is a need to develop a practical plan. Like we have a practical plan for escaping a situation, leaving a situation, going off on our own, okay? Maybe some of you have always let someone else make that decision for you, or you've been stuck in a long-term relationship with someone where they were kind of making all the decisions, or, I feel like what is happening here is I feel like you are doing things on your own, and you're getting to really be yourself and do everything that you dreamed. And it's making you like really, really happy and really excited to think that you have, you know, all this freedom and all this ability to do what you want to do in life. And maybe for a long time, like, you escaped into this vision of the future and what things could be like if you could just get away from that energy. And there's nothing wrong with envisioning that, pile number 2, because sometimes envisioning like a utopia future or envisioning something that could be even better than it is now is our way forward to start the ball rolling on a new change in our life, okay? And I don't know why I'm getting something about bowling, or maybe you had somebody in your life that went bowling or was really into bowling, but I just got, there's a bowling metaphor there for you, pile number 2. But we have the owl, wisdom, shadows, and deeper truth, okay? And this could be where people are being highly critical about your dreams or telling you that they're not going to work, or maybe even where you've been highly critical of your own dreams and you're like, yeah, this is this very beautiful, big, exciting dream that I've been thinking of, and I don't know where this inspiration comes from, but it comes from somewhere deep within me, but I keep sitting on the fence about it. I'm not sure if I should do it. And maybe perhaps you've been accused of being a dreamer, or you've been accused of escaping into your fantasies or into your dreams. But pile number 2, I also feel like that is where you find peace and where you find creativity. And sometimes we have to escape the everyday mundane in order to find new inspiration, to find a new reason to believe in our dreams, right? Like, we could be hypercritical of ourselves and say, oh, that's just a fantasy, that's never going to work, or hesitate on our decision making or not trust our decision making, thinking, oh, I'm just doing this, and kind of let other people's voices get into our head about something. And when that happens, we have strayed from our peace in life, right? And so, being critical of our dreams or being judgmental about our dreams, it has its purpose in life, okay? But if we take it too far, it can become like where we just start hesitating about everything and we don't allow ourselves to be new at anything, to be exploring anything, right? And I feel like part of the fun of life is to be new at something and to be exploring something, okay? But there can be people who are very critical when people are in those phases of exploring, and we have to not let that get to us, to the point of making us stop ourselves from what we need to do here. We're at a crossroads. We have the path that just came up here, okay, the path. And it says crossroads, possibility, and change, okay? And on this card is the Queen of Diamonds, which would be the Queen of Pentacles, which is very interesting because we have the King of Pentacles, okay? Someone who has tried to influence your path or influence your thinking, or maybe has been very critical to your dreams. But I also feel like, I don't know why the word fear almost came out there, but maybe there's a fear that you're like, I have a fear that I'm making the wrong decision here, and I'm not being clear about the reasons why I'm choosing this path, okay? But I feel like Spirit is trying to lead you into making really good decisions, but also at the same time, right, your ability to make very good practical decisions along with your ability to take a risk and try new things and go for your dreams. Because I feel like for you, peace is going towards, and I see the left-hand path here, or the road less taken, basically, pile number 2, okay? And we have card 22, right here. And, you know, for those of you that are relatively young and you're just kind of starting out in life, and this is card 26. So I would say if you're anywhere, you know, from 22 to 26 or around that age, you are young. Yes, you are young. You are just starting out in life. And, but at the same time, and it can be scary to be on your own and be having to make all these decisions. And for those of you who are older and you're like, yeah, I had to make all these important decisions when I was younger. And, you know, now I'm really critical of some of those choices that I made, or I don't know if I would have made those same choices, right? But at the same time, I feel like, you know, there is this recognition of I'm at a crossroads here, and there is a possibility for change. There is a possibility for me to be exploring my dreams here. And do I want to go down that path? And, you know, we may face some criticism in that, right? We may, we may face some criticism within ourselves of, okay, am I just doing this am I just starting new things because I don't want to face this deep choice that I have to make? Am I just escaping from things because I don't want to actually face this decision that I need to make about my relationship, right? These are some things that we want to think about. If you're avoiding making a decision about a particular relationship in your life by continuing to dream or continuing to escape reality, and you're just kind of avoiding a decision you need to make, then it is time to look at that in a more critical way, because sometimes we have to make a decision in the place that we are, even though we may not have the perfect amount of information to base that decision off. You know, sometimes we have to just trust and go for it. So pile number 2, I feel some of you have been in a difficult place with this. And I feel like once you make the decision, either yes or no, you're gonna feel so much better. And whenever people are struggling with a decision, I tell them, you know, spend a week and act as if you made that decision, and then spend a week in acting as if you didn't make that decision. And what feels more right to you, okay? What feels more right to you in that decision, and then go with that, okay? We have Capricorn, yeah, the need to be, careful. Capricorn is a cautious energy, and it does tend to do things more slowly, okay? And we've got the owl, and then we've got Capricorn here. And, you know, these are very influential players on your path in life, right? I can either go the tried and true path, right? I can either stick with what I know and be a sure-footed goat and go with the path that I know, or I can choose to go in the direction of my dreams, okay? But people may be highly critical of that, or they may not understand that. But there is this sense of, you know, needing to really look at something and apply caution and logic and all of that, but at the same time, choose a path. Pile number 2, okay? So really a lot here looking at this. We have clear out the clutter, okay? The frog spirit. And this can be where you feel really pressured to make a decision about something, and all you want to do is escape the whole thing and go in a different direction, okay? This is card number 28. We have 22, 26, and 28. Okay, so for those of you who are in your 20s, take heed, my friends. You are at the beginning of your journey, even though it may not feel that way. You're speaking to somebody who's in their 40s. So yes, you are at the beginning of your journey, and there still is a lot of pressure and decisions to be made. But perhaps clearing out, maybe, cleaning. Sometimes cleaning can be very meditative, right? And if we clear, because having a lot of clutter or having a lot of crap laying around can make us feel very overwhelmed. And, you know, when it comes to people who are like hoarders, people who are just hanging on to a lot of clutter and crap and stuff like that, it can really like weigh us down, okay? And put a lot of pressure on us. And sometimes when our home is filled with a lot of like clutter and crap and stuff like that, we don't want to be at home. We just want to escape, right? We just want to get away from that energy. And sometimes we need to, you know, clear out that clutter, right? And to help us in our decision making. And also clearing out clutter can help us deepen into a place of peace. And a lot of times while you're cleaning or while you're, you know, getting rid of things or paring things down, that type of energy, and you're kind of organizing things, a lot of times really sound decision making can come to you just while you're puttering around or cleaning up or organizing things. All of a sudden it becomes clear to you what you need to do. You're like, oh, I get it now, right? And you know, this energy, you guys have a lot of dynamic energy of newness and excitement that is a dream that you've always wanted for yourself, to kind of escape where you've been, okay, or escape the tried and true. But perhaps you're having a hard time around how to get there or how to make those decisions, or you're feeling very pressured to pick one thing or the other, particularly about a relationship. Spirit is advising you to clear out the clutter, okay, as a way to deepen into peace. And for some of you here, this is about keeping the polarity between Virgo and Pisces balanced, okay? Because Pisces is where we like to escape and we like to dream, and we like to dream and scheme and envision all the possibilities for the future. But Virgo is where we organize and clear clutter out, okay? And we deal with chaos by organizing and cleaning as a way to help organize our mind so that we can make the best decisions possible, okay? We have planning, yeah. So I do feel like Spirit is saying, yeah, there is some planning, sitting down with a pen and paper, okay? We've got a big dream. We want to make it happen, okay? We're going to sit down with a pen and paper and we're going to do some planning. We're going to sketch it out. What would my life look like if I did this, okay? How many years do I, you know, because sometimes things take time with Capricorn, right? And the King of Pentacles, you know, will I have enough money? Will I have enough time? I'm feeling pressure to do one thing or another, okay? Capricorn is an energy that definitely loves planning, okay? And the owl is about seeing things clearly, right? So when we have a plan and we can see things clearly, it helps us make decisions and it helps us deepen into peace, okay? So this is where you're going to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen. You're going to sketch it out. You're going to do a pros and cons list. You're going to make a to-do list of everything that needs to get done. You're going to start clearing out the clutter. You're going to attack, you know, those drawers at home that are filled with clutter, and you're going to say, okay, once every week I'm going to clean out one of these drawers, and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to plan my goals out here, okay? That's very King of Pentacles, that's very Capricorn, to sit down and organize and plan, you know, because the path is there for you. And the path could be very lucrative and exciting for you, okay? And I do feel like there could be money there as well for you, pile number 2, or the wherewithal for you to support yourself financially, okay? But it's going to take some planning Maybe we need to have a garage sale. Maybe we need to get rid of some stuff. Maybe we need to sell some stuff on eBay, you know, however you do things like that. Perhaps some of you can make money off of things that you have, and it can help fund the next phase of what you're trying to do here. But this is where we need, with Capricorn, we need to take our time. We need to plan things, and all of this will help you get comfortable with making these big decisions that you need to make, okay? Because I do feel like there's new energy available for you in 2025, and it's very exciting, pile number 2. It's actually quite exciting for you. We have integration. The frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. Okay, so we're integrating the sides of ourselves that are very practical, that are into planning, and that can sometimes be critical of our dreams and think that we're just doing it to escape, with the side of ourselves that is a dreamer, that loves new and exciting experiences, that loves to travel, that we're integrating that, okay? We're integrating both things here, pile number 2. And I'm just going to take a moment here to read about this sword of light, and maybe some of you are needing to cut away. It says cut cords here. Maybe some of you are needing to cut a cord around a relationship in your life to really feel that sense of newness and excitement that is gathering in your life right now. And we have here, the sword of light is the main energetic tool of Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heaven. His name means he who is like God, and he is considered Source's right-hand man. He is the archangel who has chosen to guide and protect all light workers. Anyone who is feeling called to make a difference on this planet can be guided and supported by him. The sword of light has been pictured as both a spear of light and a lightning bolt. Either way, it is a powerful symbol of truth and spiritual power. Even though it is carried by Michael, it can be invoked by all of those working in the light to help them move beyond blockages and limitations and sever cords of fear. Joan of Arc invoked it when she was going into battle. Visualize yourself engulfed in golden light. Say, sword of light, thank you for cutting unnecessary cords that bind me to fear. I stand in truth and light, fulfilling the call of my soul. When this card comes up to you, know that it is confirmation that you are walking the path of light and responding to pre-incarnation soul contracts to make a difference on the planet. It is a sign that you have the opportunity to sever connections to fears and limitations. Energetic cords bind us to situations and loved ones and even the past. But you are in a transition now and detaching from unnecessary connections, dramas, and fears. Know that there will be a great severing at this time, and you may feel isolated for a moment, as you will be reconfiguring your circle of trust and moving into a life that is in greater alignment with your highest good. Know that the cord that binds you to loved ones and soul family will remain intact. It is only lower vibrational connections that are being severed now. Expect breakthroughs and doors of opportunity being opened for you. If you feel strongly connected to Archangel Michael, know that his energy is with you now. For those of you that are trying to sever relationships that have needed to go for a while, that haven't allowed you to be free and independent and integrate these different parts of yourselves, there is planning involved in that. There is a release of clutter of things that are no longer of value in your life. Not to say that people aren't of value, but just to say certain relationships have run their course in your life and they are needing to be released at this time in order for you to bloom and blossom like the flower that you are. So pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. Thank you very much for coming to your reading, and take care. Let's go ahead and move on to pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose Soul Child, and today's reading is called Deepening into Peace, Where Spirit is Leading You. And I love this little picture here because it looks like it's like a little kid with their teddy bear, or it could be like a person and their pet, like a person and their dog or their cat. For those of you that love animals, welcome to your reading. Some of you could feel like your animal is your soul child, okay? But let's go ahead and talk about, or for those of you who do really want to have kids someday and you know there's a soul child waiting for you out there, let's go ahead and get into it here for pile number 3. Let's talk about deepening into peace and where spirit is leading you. Okay, pile number 3, let's go ahead and find out, where is spirit leading pile number 3 as they deepen into peace? Where is spirit? Oh, there's the Emperor there. All right. Pile number 3. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Happy Gardener, and the 4 of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. Okay. Interesting. Pile number 3. Okay. There is something here about patience, right? And for those of you that understand a good gardening metaphor, right? There's a lot of work involved there, but it feels good to interact with the earth in that way and to know that there's something there that can grow. But with the 4 of Cups, we're having to be very patient about that growth, okay? And some of you could also be wondering, like, when is someone coming back, okay? And I just have to relate this to, you know, maybe perhaps there have been times in your life where you felt left or abandoned by people in your life, whether that was like a parent who was always gone all the time, or was always leaving, or was never around, or there were always more important things for them to chase. And then later in life, you dated people or became friends with people who it seemed like they were always too busy, or they were always off chasing something else and they just didn't have time for you. Or you feel like you've been waiting for someone to return for a long time, pile number 3, or you feel like you've been sitting around kind of waiting for something to grow or someone to return, okay? And we are going to talk about this because it does feel like, you know, you are a little tired of waiting for someone to return, okay? And sometimes emotionally, when we get in that pattern of waiting for someone to return, or someone's always leaving, or their lifestyle is always on the road or always on the run, or it can even feel like part of yourself is always on the run and is always leaving. And sometimes we don't want to sit down and do the work and the growth necessary because there's this call to always like be gone or always be on the road, right? So these are some things where we're learning to sit with where we're at and be at peace where we're at, and be patient with things that are just starting to take hold in one's life, or just trying to, and you know, I feel emotionally, you know, there's this feeling of I want to be emotionally grounded, and I want to work on my sense of feeling emotionally grounded and feeling happy with what's in my life, and being more grateful about what's in my life, and instead of waiting for that thing that isn't here, focus on where I can grow, right? So there is something about, deepening into peace with what is being offered right now. Okay. So pile number 3, let's go ahead and look at this. We've got karmic board clearing, energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. Yeah, and that's where I was basically, if I just literally described your story of, yes, I did have a parent that was gone a lot, or would come around and then leave and come around and leave. And yes, I have relationships sometimes like that where people come around and leave and then I'm waiting for them. And then, once I get emotionally invested into something, it's hard for me to let go of that, but I'm not happy at the same time, because, patiently waiting is, I'm happy to patiently wait, but I feel like it's also taking me out of my productivity or my happiness, right? And so, yeah, there's a karmic board clearing that is needing to happen here, and a need of being, and maybe some of you are bored with your own story. You're like, yeah, that has been my story. And honestly, like, I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to keep living this story. So I get that, pile number 2 or pile number 3. I really do. We have Taurus and cultivate. Okay. And perhaps sometimes it's like, I want to be able to be more free in my life. I don't want to feel tied down all the time to this, waiting for this thing to grow. And I want to be able to move and go somewhere myself. And Taurus is a very patient energy, and it does ask us to chill, and it does ask us to take our time. And out of all the signs in the zodiac, it is the most slow moving, right? And it also can talk about when we get fixated on something, it can be very hard to let go of that fixation. So we will be talking about that. We have the 7 of staffs here. We have the 8 of swords, okay? And we have the 2 of staves. Interesting. And it may feel like there's something that you're not seeing right now, pile number 3, or is very hard to, I don't want to look at this anymore. I just want to be free from this. Okay. And with the 8 of swords, I really do feel that rewrite your story. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have find wholeness, bring together fragments that complete you, acceptance, and inner peace. And we see someone standing on a puzzle here. And life is like a puzzle sometimes, and it feels like there is something missing, right? And, and there is something with the 2 of staffs, which is the 2 of wands, about living in the moment, okay? Living in the magic, living in the moment, being mobile, being worldly, being of the world, okay? And there's something with the 8 of swords and 7 of wands about not wanting to continue to fight something anymore, okay? And this is where, like, if we're always waiting for someone to come back, or we're always waiting for that missing piece of the puzzle to materialize, okay, this is talking about finding wholeness within. And pile number 3, so many people struggle with this. I just want you to know that, right? People will say, well, when I just get that job, or I just have that money, I'll finally stop chasing, right? Or when I just find that person and they acknowledge me, I'll finally stop chasing. When I, and Taurus talks about the tenacity to keep working on something and to keep going for something. But Taurus also talks about being at peace with nature and being at peace with the earth and being at peace with the speed of things, even if it is having to be slow at times, okay? And, grounding energy is really important when we see Taurus show up, being calm and patient, grounded in our energy. Also very much the energy of like the happy gardener, or the person who's gardening and pruning their soul, the person who is growing their own vegetables, the person who is taking care of the land, the person who is taking care of the flowers. Like there can be something very peaceful. I remember when I was little, like being in my grandmother's garden was literally like, I don't know, I felt like I was in a magical kingdom when I was in my grandmother's garden. And, that sense of like when we're young and we're out in nature and we're so tiny and everything looks huge, right? Like even here, these trees look huge, right? Everything looks so huge, and the world is full of wonder. And just being out in nature, can be really exciting, right? And in nature, we find wholeness, don't we? We find wholeness, and we find a sense of peace and wholeness. And we look at a tree and we don't go, well, that tree is missing pieces, and that leaf fell off that tree and it's never going to be whole again. And until that leaf grows back the next spring, that tree is just half the tree it used to be, right? We don't really think that way in nature. We look at cycles and progressions as happening naturally, and we're not trying to force a tree to be something other than how it looks or how it is right now, right? And that's where we can find wholeness a lot of times, is in nature and looking around in nature. And even when the tree has no leaves on it and it's the dead of winter, that tree is still a tree, okay? Those leaves are going to grow back. And it says, bring together fragments that complete you. And this is not other people, right? It's not fragments of other people that have been lost to you. It's more of you within you, bringing those fragments together and finding acceptance and inner peace, right? And that can be really hard to do, especially if we feel like we haven't, like, well, I just started working on my garden, right? Ace of Pentacles. I wish it was farther along. I wish I would have realized all this stuff a long time ago, okay? And forcing ourselves to hurry or forcing ourselves to chase something that isn't necessarily the answer to our questions or answer to our problems anyway, right? And how much fruitless chasing do we do as, I was going to say as employees, I don't know why, right? But wow, how much fruitless chasing do we do instead of just being here in the moment now, right? And cultivating our garden and cultivating our growth and taking our time with it. And, we can see, when we see the lie of things, sometimes it's very overwhelming, because it's like, well, these other people have all this and their trees have grown to be these big trees, and what do I have? I don't want to, I don't want to really look at that. Or there can be things that we don't want to, that remind us that, we are where we are, okay? And we can sometimes be really frustrated with where we are, and we don't want to look at it. And it can also be this thing of, I'm tired of fighting things mentally in my own head. I just want to live in the magic. I just want to be in the moment. And, the Two of Wands is very much a card of harnessing the energy and pulling it and taking it for yourself, right? And not waiting for someone else to give you that gift necessarily, okay? And it's also a very worldly card. We see the the man holding the globe or the person holding the globe, talking about where all the possibilities are, or where one can have influence, right? And where all the possibilities are. And I love the unicorn in this picture because unicorns are magical and they are full of possibility. And I feel like there's also somebody in the background that's on their hands and knees twerking under the light of the moon with basically no clothes on. So pile number 3, that really talks about a need to get wild, doesn't it? And if we're out under the moonlight at midnight running around with no clothes on in our garden and twerking in the moonlight and running around with the unicorns, that is truly some wild shit right there. Pile number 3. That is truly some wild shit. All right. And maybe that's where some of you, and you know, there's a boredom energy, I feel like, a little bit with the 4 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, it's nice. There's things to grow, but it may also feel like there's something missing, like excitement is missing. Okay. And that's where the 2 of Wands comes in, because we're twerking in our garden at midnight with no clothes on under the moonlight. Okay. Twerking in the moonlight. Pile number 3. We were dancing and feeling right. All right. And that is very Taurus, right? To run around naked under the moonlight. That is very au naturel. That is very Taurus. But we have the Fox. Enigma, adaptability, shape-shifting. Okay, and sometimes people who are really good at shape-shifting, you got to come home to yourself though, right? Like if you're a person that is an enigma and you're a mystery and you're very adaptable and you can adapt to a lot of situations, that is a strength in life. But all of the best, most top tier shapeshifters who twerk and transform under the moonlight, pile number 3, at some point need to come home to themselves, okay? And that can be a hard thing to do because it feels like there's this ever shifting thing that, you know, wholeness is, if we're shapeshifters, then we're never actually ourselves, and we're always, you know, which is fine. It's a very adaptable quality. And maybe some of you here are very good at syncing with your environment or syncing with the situations around you. And you've had to learn to be very adaptable in your life because there's been a lot of independent, you know, there's been a lot of unruly and, you know, mysterious people in your life who come and go and come and go. And so you've learned to be kind of a shapeshifter and adapt and go with that. All right. But even the most amazing shapeshifters need to return back to home, right? Need to find wholeness within. Okay. And, you know, and that can be something that we're searching for our whole life, right? Like, I feel like I'm searching for parts of myself that I lost. And I feel like Spirit is saying, here it is with this Ace of Pentacles. Here's exactly what it is that you need. And you're kind of not looking at it, and you're kind of looking to the other side, and you're like, that's not it, or that's not really the thing. And Spirit is like, you know, you're making it a little bit harder than you need to make it, right? And sometimes we, you know, life can get really intimidating and we can make things a lot harder than they actually need to be when the answer is literally right in front of us, or Spirit is trying to show us something that we need that would be really good for us right now, but we can't sit still long enough to really absorb it. Do you know what I'm saying, pile number 3? So I do think that that energy is coming out here. We have the smoke, changes and transformation, okay? And if you've ever watched a fire and you see the smoke coming up from it, sometimes you can actually read shapes out of the fire. And to me, that is very much like shape shifting, you know, the way fire turns into smoke, which dissolves into the air. That's shape shifting right there. but we have changes and transformations, okay? And sometimes, you know, Seven of Wands, the changes that we need to make seem really big and outrageous and aggressive. And it's like, ugh, you know, but I also think with the Two of Wands here, it is about having fun. It is about being silly. Like when we have unicorns and twerking in the moonlight, it is about having fun, being silly, living in the moment, okay? But it can also, again, the smoke and the fox, it feels like we're chasing something very elusive, which has been within us the whole time, right? And that's sometimes the mystery that we have in life. Like we figure out, oh, it's actually been inside me the whole time, but I've been chasing this elusive mystery. And what I need has actually been in me the entire time. Don't I feel like a horse's patoot, you know? It's been in me the whole time. Oh boy, right? We have Keter here, the Sephirah of Keter. And Keter is where the aces live in the tarot. And again, this is another reference to this Ace of Pentacles and the pure energy, okay? And some people don't really like the Ace of Pentacles. It is like, you know, like the Ace of Wands is more exciting, or the Ace of Cups is more healing, or the Ace of Swords is more fierce, right? And I feel like some people put like the pentacle at the lowest point, you know, but what can be gained from, you know, our physical and grounding into the earth, right? And I feel like this Keter energy is an energy of, you know, personal power and wisdom and, you know, a visit from the angelic realm. It is the highest point, one of the highest points in the tree of life, okay? And we as humans, we can't always see what that is. We can't always, there's a lot of smoke and illusion, and we can't always see that high point, and Spirit is here to help us. When we're making things more complicated than they need to be, or we're not seeing a basic truth that needs to come through, okay? And Keter is also where we soak up the wisdom of the Godhead, basically, and where we're filled with knowledge and light, okay? And this is a place, if for those of you that are into Kabbalah, you can actually meditate on the Sephirah, and some people do that as like a place of deepening into peace, or use their you know, spiritual meditations as a way to elevate their consciousness, okay? To turn into smoke and vapors and move up the tree of life and exist in the Godhead. Pile number 3. It's pretty wild stuff. Honestly, this reading is pretty wild. But we have Panther Spirit. Reclaim your power, okay? And this is where I feel like you guys maybe sometimes get caught up trying to figure out other people's erratic actions, okay? And when we're in the energy of figuring things out, we're always trying to put pieces of the puzzle together, and we can get very smart in doing that, okay? And I feel some of you here are very good at, you know, figuring out what motivates other people, or figuring out, and there may be certain people in your life though that have just been an enigma to you. It's like, I can't figure out why they're always acting this way. Like, I feel you guys are normally very, you're very smart, you're very quick-witted. Maybe some of you here are even good at doing puzzles, and you love doing puzzles. And doing puzzles is something that you do to actually help you like relax, actually. And that figuring out the mystery and figuring out how things are put together is something that you really enjoy doing and you find very calming, okay? But also, if there are people in your life who just disappear and aren't around, and they leave you in this feeling of, well, where are they? What is going on, right? Spirit is saying your time would be better well spent actually doing a real puzzle. Like, you know, the Ace of Pentacles is where things can get very literal, you know? It's like, actually sit down if you feel like you're starting to obsess over where someone is and what they're doing and what their intentions are and why they're not there. Take some of that mental energy and ground it into something physical that you can do with your hands and do with your mind. Okay? Because I feel like you guys do have a very strong, intense mind. And there is this sense of wanting to solve mysteries or wanting to know the unknowable. And some of that can be accomplished through spirituality. And I mean, we can't know everything. I mean, I'd love to know everything, pile number 3, but even I know that we can't know everything. But, time can be spent contemplating, Keter, the Sephira, the Godhead, the smoke, which we can't ever know, but we know that is there, the spirit around us, right? And a lot of time can be spent doing that or wondering about others, right? And if you find yourself getting into that wondering about others, when are they going to be back? What's happening? I'm bored. I'm sick of waiting. Actually do something with your mind or your hands or your body. Do something physical. Actually do a puzzle, solve a puzzle, right? Anything to get your mind away, to break that spell, okay, is going to be helpful as far as reclaiming your own magic and reclaiming your wholeness. And Spirit wants you to know that that wholeness has always been there. It's just a matter of reclaiming your power, okay? And we have the Panther Spirit showing up in your reading. Fox and Panther, very intense energies, very smart, very powerful, very strong, all coming through for you. Pile number 3. We have vitality and the sun. Okay, so reclaim your vitality. And this may mean getting out of the house. This may mean going to a gym. This may mean going for a walk around the block. This may mean getting outdoors to absorb a few minutes of sunlight. Okay, but this is about increasing your physical strength and your physical vitality. And maybe, and this person is running, maybe running is something that you can do for yourself, right? For those of you that are physically able, perhaps running or jogging would be something good, or walking, right? Listening to powerful music while you walk, or going to the gym, or setting new fitness goals for yourself to the extent that you can, right? Anything to increase your physical strength and power and vitality, very important. It's a very key part of finding your wholeness, okay? And for some of you, that may mean waking up early to go to the gym, or waking up early to go for a morning walk, to clear your head, to connect with nature. But Taurus energy talks about getting into a routine where we can really thrive, where once you get into a rhythm of something, it's easy to keep the habit up in a positive way, okay? So we've got that energy of meditating in your garden in the sunshine, going for a walk. These are all things where you can definitely deepen into peace. Pile number 3, definitely. We have remembrance. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in a body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life, okay? And remembrance, wow, that feels deep. It supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in a body, okay? And definitely, embodiment is all about Taurus energy, embodiment and curiosity, okay? What does it feel like to have a body, right? That's what I feel like a lot of us incarnate for. What does it feel like to have a body? We get curious. We want to embody something, and we come to this earth as a body. But then sometimes we get bored by its limitations, and we want to shapeshift and run away from things, okay? But we have to take care of the body. It's part of our power. It's part of finding our wholeness and remembering why we wanted to come here in the first place, okay? Pile number 3, and I'm just going to take a quick second here to look at this karmic board clearing for you guys, and we will take a quick peek. As I do love this deck. This is Kyle Gray, Gateway of Light Activation. I really do like sometimes the messages are like really cheesy in these books, but I actually like his messages. And let's see. There's a lot of H-I-J-K. I have to find the K's. Okay. Karmic board. The karmic board is a congregation of spiritual beings dedicated to implementing the law of cause and effect. They have the capacity to help us overcome any karmic blockages that are affecting us. We can call upon them to bring healing into our energy field and to clear away any patterns that are standing in the way of our experience of love and the expression of our life purpose. Karmic blockages are often misunderstood. Many people think that a blockage is a punishment for their bad choice or wrongful behavior, but it's not. Source is always on our side. It wants us to have a positive experience here on earth, but it also honors our choices and experiences, and sometimes the result in karmic blockages. It's important to know that many of these blockages were actually created by innocent choices. Yeah, a lot of these I love that. A lot of our blockages could have been created by an innocent choice that we made, okay? For example, continually letting someone's bad behavior or mistreatment of us slide because we really wanted to see the good in them, or choosing not to let love in because there was a part of us that was scared of the unknown. Imagine yourself surrounded by a golden light and say, thank you, karmic board, for clearing all blockages, debts, and unfinished patterns and experiences, psychic pain, or any other barriers that could be standing in the way of my experience of love. If you're being overwhelmed by a traumatic memory, this remembrance card, if you're being overwhelmed by a traumatic memory or a painful event, know it's because this old energy is no longer serving you and that your spirit is calling for it to be released. Okay, pile number 3, particularly if it is a memory around body, your physical body or violation of the physical body. Okay, there is something really, really strong about that coming up in this reading. Pile number 3, the physical body, especially with this Panther energy and this reclaiming your power, your physical body power, okay? Know that receiving this message means that your energetic self has been taken to the karmic board during sleep or meditation so that your light body can be cleared of all karmic blockages and stories. All fears, phobias, and challenges with partners and relationships and feelings of being misunderstood are being released now. You are ready to move forward, okay? So that is, and it's not that we don't remember or honor those parts, but those parts of yourself are changing and transforming in the light of Keter, in the light of spirit, okay? And there is something about maintaining strength and vitality in the body as like a remembrance or a shrine to what has happened in the past and the commitment to oneself to take care of the body and to remember things that have happened, things that have come and gone, but the ability to transform, move beyond that, and be like a shapeshifter who is okay shape-shifting back into one's human's form and gathering strength in that human form. So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that reading resonated. Wishing you the best. Take care.